Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Welcome to another lecture. In this class, we are going to continue with Unit 11 of Class 12 Education Nagaland Board, which is intelligence. So in this class, we shall discuss about the ways in which the intelligence level can be measured of a person. Now, in order to measure the intelligence of a person, it first has to be defined. You first have to prove that you are intelligent, and there has to be some specific tests. There have to be some mental abilities that will prove the fact that you are intelligent. We also have to consider the fact that intelligence can be decided, can be inferred from how you behave in a certain situation or the speed with which you are able to do the things correctly. Now, earlier in the ancient India, intelligence was measured by the kind or by the way the people would converse with each other, the way the person would seem to be physically, the gestures, the actions, the personality, the speech, the changes in the eye and the facial expressions. All these factors were considered to define one's intelligence. We have learned that there are three types of intelligence as specified by the psychologists. We have abstract intelligence, which tests how well a person is able to understand and deal with the symbols. Then we have social intelligence, how well you are able to deal with the society. And the mechanical intelligence, how well you are able to solve some problem with the best of your ability. Now, the tests can be classified in three broad categories, as you can see. We have individual tests, tests as performance, and the group test other people or non-verbal image. Now, you do not have to get into the details of the tests which are stated in your book, because that is something which is going to be taught to you if you pursue this subject further. So we just have to remember the names as specified in the books. So first, the individual tests are used to judge one individual at one time. Okay, it is going to know about the intelligence level of one person at one time. There is a trained psychologist who is going to analyze and administer the test. There is a definite period for which the test will be conducted, and then the results will be interpreted. These tests are done for the people of age group 2 to 18 years. And what are the names of these tests? We have the Binet-Simon test, revised test by Terman, mental scholastic test of Burt, as well as the Wechsler test. So these are the tests that are used to measure the intelligence of an individual being between the age of 2 to 18 years. I'm repeating again, for you to know what these tests are about is not important. Just remember the test for now. That is what is expected of you. Next, we have the group tests. Now, as the name suggests, group intelligence tests are those tests which assess the intelligence level of a large number of people at the same time. Okay, these tests were invented in America, wherein the army men were before joining the World War, their intelligence was to be assessed. So this was the birth of the group test. What are some of these group tests? We have the Beta test, Terman's group tests, and Otis self-administrative tests. These are the three group tests that we have. Group tests can further be subdivided into verbal and non-verbal. As the name suggests, verbal tests are those which would require an individual to read something and then write a solution to that problem. So reading first and then writing the solution is going to be acted as a test for your verbal intelligence. And we have the non-verbal test, in which the problems are presented to the people who are appearing for such test in the form of some picture, diagram, some puzzle, some maze and everything. So a person does not require to read or write anything, but to just make a mark to signify something with the help of a pencil on the basis of what he or she has learned from the pictures or the diagrams displayed. Next, we have the performance test. Now, these tests are designed to assess the problem-solving ability of the people, and the tools that are used for performance test are pictures and books instead of the words. These tests are specifically used for the young children, for those people who do not know how to read and write and thus know nothing about the words, with the people who have some speech defects and people who do not have a very good proficiency in language. What are these tests? We have the Coles block test, block design test, the cube construction test, and the task block test. So basically, we have different types of intelligent tests, and different types of questions are put up to assess these tests. And these questions that are put up in these tests are of different types. Different factors determine the questions. What is the difference between an individual and a group intelligence test? One, individual tests, as the name suggests, are meant for individuals, one person at a time, and group tests mean for a huge, a number of persons at the same time. When a person is appearing for an individual test, the one who's going to, analyze you, administer you, there is going to be a close contact between the individual and the administrator. While on the other fact, a group test cannot make this possible because of a large number of people. So, in a group test, it is possible for a person to know something about the individual's personality. Now, individual tests are very objective and standardization is missing. There is no standard since it is going to vary from individual to individual. So, there is no fixed standard that those tests are going to meet. They can be different for different individuals. While when we talk about a group test, if there are 10 people who are to be tested, the questions will be the same, they will be in standard. In individual test, both the elders as well as the youngsters can be tested. But testing the individuals in a large group of people is impossible. So this, my dear students, was the difference between the individual and the group test and the different ways in which the intelligence can be measured. So I'm going to pause here now, and in my next lecture we'll begin with the difference between the verbal and the non-verbal tests and how do we test their performance.